What's one thing your partner doesn't know? 1. She left her toxic ex-boyfriend for me. He was always showing up in places she would be or randomly showing up at her house with no good intentions. She asked me not to get involved, so I respected her wishes for a while. Then he tried to break into her home one night while everyone was asleep. He got caught, made a run for it, and keyed her car on the way out. Shortly after it happened, I was informed by a witness to the events. The witness expressed to me that at that time they were scared because they knew the ex-boyfriend had been physically aggressive in the past and had recently tried to do it again as well. My girlfriend called me that night also, but told me it was okay now and not to worry. For the next week, I staked out her house at night in case he tried again. I also found out where he lived, worked, and hung out, and his routes to such places. I observed him and tracked his schedule. I waited for him to try something again, and he came back to try and break in. Added security measures prevented him, and after trying other ways he left. He rode his bike down an isolated dirt path every morning as a shortcut to work. I waited, and when I saw him I blocked off his path with my vehicle. I did what had to be done and destroyed his bike. I told him if he even came near her again, even by accident, he wasn't going to walk away from it an empty threat. I would have just roughed him up more at best. I also told him I recorded him trying to break into her house and damaging her property. I also read out to him in explicit detail his schedule and routines. I told him if I even thought he was sniffing around her again I would find him. We never heard or saw from him again. We have been together for nearly 2 decades now. Very happy, successful, and much so in love still. I swear I'm not a psycho LOL. I'm not possessive or an aggressive person. Everyone calls me a big teddy bear or a big softie. I grew up in a home with that kind of behavior and have zero tolerance for any of it. 2. Every time we go into a restaurant or place of business, I make sure to identify all the exit points in case something bad were to happen. Also, never have my back to the doors. 3. I pretend to be asleep when he wakes up because I love how sweetly he wakes me up. 4. That I knew he was planning to propose to me, but I still acted surprised. We've been married 14 years now, but I still haven't told him. He is so proud of the idea that he managed to surprise me. 5. That I know their Reddit account. 6. That her mom called for her the moment before she passed. When her mom was passing, she was in the room with her for almost 24 hours straight and left for 30 seconds, and I was there. In those 30 seconds, her mother passed, but not before calling for my wife. I don't know if it will haunt her or not, but I just don't think it's something she needs to know. 7. He does not know that he was my teenage crush since I was 12 and I wrote so many beautiful poems about him. We have been married for 6 years and have a child together. I don't know if I will ever have the courage to tell him that I have always loved him. 8. That I have a folder of photos on my computer called Places I Have Found My Wife's Shoes that is legitimately filled with thousands of pictures of my wife's shoes that are neither in the closet or shoe rack. 9. That she's my partner. We rent together, go on dates, laugh together, cook together, eat together, and talk about each other's day every evening. But she doesn't want a relationship right now. Before anyone says anything, I know how it sounds, and I'm slowly making my way out of the situation. 10. How to grocery shop efficiently. I can't stand going into the grocery store with her. She makes a list and then follows the list order through the store. Back and forth. She visits the same aisle 3 to 4 times.